Yes. Happy Tuesday! Welcome to Live at Lindo's. I'm Tania Kowalski, and I'm here with Zach behind the camera, and he's holding a selfie stick, so he's going to do his very best to balance while we tour you down the organic aisle today. Come on and join us. Bring your questions. As always, on behalf of myself and the amazing staff over here at Lindo's, we love to have you tune in and bring your feedback, your questions, any of your healthy living tips so that we can all work towards living our healthiest, happiest lives. All right, so I'm going to start here in this Bob's Red Mill section of the organic aisle. Bob's Red Mill has a real amazing selection of different whole grains, cereals, you name it. Definitely worth checking out. They've got everything from chia seeds, which I love, an amazing source of omega-3 fats, as well as ground flaxseed meal, which go into many of the snacks and recipes that we make at home, as well as things like kamut, teff, bulgur, oats, all kinds of different whole grains here. So Zach, I don't know if you want to pan down there just showing all the different products. And you know what, there's so many different ways that you can prepare these things. So if you're experimenting with different whole grains, I always like to start by soaking whole grains. Cuts their cooking time in half. You can use a different type of stock to cook them up, so maybe a bone broth or a chicken or vegetable stock. I do like to choose the lower sodium ones, and then you can start adding some fun things in. You can saute onions and garlic. You can add different chopped vegetables. So just experiment and be creative. There are so many different amazing kind of meat-free grains that are higher in protein that you can choose. So love the Bob's Red Mill products. There are so many different ones to choose from, and we use their oats all the time as well. You can get the gluten-free oats. Remembering that the larger flake, the closer that you're getting to those steel-cut oats, the less processed they are, the slower the digestion of any sugars you're going to get. So I like going somewhere in the middle. Not always steel-cut because we don't always have time to prep them, but the large flake oats. So I'm going to show you those ones. So the steel cut oats I would soak, Zach, the same way. So here's steel cut, and I know you guys have the organic steel cut or the gluten-free steel cut as well, but I would, so here's the gluten-free version. I would soak them in water overnight, and they literally cook up in a couple of minutes. Some people will do them in a crock pot, so they've got them for the week, but really easy to do. And the large flake oats, same thing. If you have time to soak them, even for just an hour, cuts the cooking time in half, and you can cook them up in just a couple of minutes. Yeah. All right, we're moving on, and we're moving on to nut butters, okay? Nut butters and sweeteners. So I always get asked this question, which are my favorite sweeteners? And I do use stevia a lot, so I'm going to jump over here for just a second. The Sweet Leaf brand is definitely my favorite. These little drops, okay? So an easy, non-chemical, artificial flavored way to add some sweetness. Some people find it a little bitter, but some people say that after they get used to them that they really enjoy them. So I might use this in my oats or in plain Greek yogurt just to add that little bit of sweetness. Other than stevia, some of my favorite natural sweeteners are an organic natural maple syrup, local honey whenever you can get it. So if you can get local honey, that's amazing. If not, choosing a good quality organic honey. When it comes to nut butters, there's a whole plethora here on the shelf at Lindo's as well, and I always say, to look for ones that don't have added sugars and also added fats. Generally speaking, other fats are added just so that the nut butters don't separate, but it's so easy to keep them from separating. All you have to do is when you buy the jar is to store it flipped over for a couple of days and then flip it back up, and they're super easy to stir. So I love using nut butters with no sugar or oils added. Just I like the dry roasted nuts. The roasting adds a little bit more flavor, but there are so many different amazing ones to choose from. We've got walnut butter, almond butter, tahini if you're making hummus, okay, sunflower butter, which is a little higher in omega-6s, but still, a good nut butter from a variety perspective. So all kinds of different choices here. And coconut oil is something else that we use a lot in our house, and I always choose the virgin coconut oil. The occasions that you might choose the more processed or coconut oils, the refined versions I should say, is maybe when you don't want to have the coconut flavor, but for us we're used to the coconut flavor and we really like it, so I always choose the virgin coconut oil. Yes. Yeah, we definitely cook with it. I also use it for oil pulling, which is really good for cleaning your teeth and eliminating bacteria in your mouth. So I love doing that, but yes, we cook with it as well.
So how do you do that?
Oil pulling. So oil pulling, I would take about a tablespoon of coconut oil and literally just swish it around in my mouth for about 10 minutes and then spit it out. But it just basically collecting bacteria from your mouth. It helps to whiten your teeth, and also that swishing motion just helps to really clean in between your teeth. So it leaves your mouth feeling really fresh, like especially after you've had coffee or something that might not leave it feeling so fresh. Yeah. Ghee is another that I love. It's a natural form of clarified butter, so we're getting away from the margarines, which we know might include trans fats, the ones that we don't want. So choosing ghee is a great alternative if you're looking for that butter flavor, because it's basically what it is, clarified butter. So you're getting the most nutrient-dense form.
They use that in a lot of Indian dishes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, Zach. Indian dishes, a lot of them contain ghee, and it is a great product to use. Yeah, there's also flaxseed oil, which is another that I absolutely love, really high in omega-3 fats, as well as good quality olive oils. I love the Bragg is the one that I buy usually, or the Spectrum. A bunch of different good quality olive oils, which we use a lot of in our house as well. Remembering that whenever you're doing dressings for salad or something, that if you're using a vinegar, I oftentimes use apple cider vinegar, which you can actually, is it here, Zach? Yeah, right here. Love the Bragg's apple cider vinegar. So I'll use this on salads, and you always want to make sure that you're having that little bit of oil when you're having salads, so that you're absorbing those fat-soluble vitamins, and also the oil is protecting you from the acidity of things like the vinegar. So when you've got, half and half, so maybe it's half tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, half tablespoon of oil, whatever that is, then you're protecting your teeth from the acid, right, and you're really neutralizing the acids when you're doing that. And olive oil you want to use for lower temperature cooking as well, so dressings and marinades. It's got a lower smoke point, so you don't want to heat it too high, because that's when it becomes carcinogenic. Yeah? All right, so love those. I'm just collecting things as I walk along here. I'm putting them back on the shelf. You want to take that one? Got it? What else? Oh my goodness, there are so many things in this aisle that I love. We use the legumes a lot, so the Eden Organic chickpeas, black beans. You'll see my Meatless Monday recipes coming up, and I use a lot of these different products, so I would literally just rinse and drain them and use them in different dishes. I know you may have heard me say before, for the girls in their lunch boxes, I will rinse the chickpeas, add a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of garlic, and mix them up, and they love them in their lunches just like that. So a simple kind of bean salad, if you will. So many different ways that you can do it. There are also dried lentils here. So again, you would soak those to prepare them. They're all easily prepped. Chickpeas and some of the other dried legumes take a lot more time to prep, which is why I prefer to use the canned versions. It's just a time savings tip to use the ones that have already been soaked in and canned. Yeah, if all of the Eden Organic beans have already been pre-soaked to break down those lectins that can inhibit digestion, so that's another good reason or a good thing to note when you're buying those products. All right, we can go back a little bit more. The Amy's Organic soups I absolutely love, and one of the things that I should touch on and share here is one of the reasons why you may want to buy the organic products is that the ingredient lists are often much more simple than the others, and so this is something that you have to kind of learn on your own, because it's not always the case. So taking a can of soup that looks interesting from the Amy's version, and then going and checking the ingredients on another brand of soup and seeing, do I recognize the ingredients on the Amy's version over top of the other one that I might want to choose from. You really need to weigh those things. So get used to label reading and really read your labels, be educated about what you're purchasing. So a lot of the time at the end of different products, you'll notice even pickles, like it'll be yellow 40 or whatever the dye code is, right? So that you know that when you see yellow, red, whatever with a little number after it at the end, that it includes food dyes, and that happens often. And so often in the organic products, they won't include those things. So these are important things to note when you're shopping and to become label savvy. Yeah, so I was saying that I love the Amy soups. We also use their chilies and beans a lot. You know, if you're a taco lover, taco shells, so much goodness in this aisle. If you are a person who loves pasta in your house, you can easily upgrade your pastas by choosing one of the Explore Cuisine pastas, the lentil pasta or the chickpea pasta, because they are higher in protein, higher in fiber, they are gluten-free, so a bunch of benefits to choosing those pastas over your regular run-of-the-mill pasta. And I also love the Muir Glen tomato sauces. So down here, one of our family favorites is the roasted garlic. Okay, and you'll notice that they've got no sugar added. You can always check the labels to make sure that they are gluten-free if you are gluten-free in your home. So a lot of good products back here as well. And now we're moving on to some of the more snack kind of foods. So as we move forward, I just want to say that even though I'm in the organic aisle today, is to, again, be label savvy. Don't get lured in by natural, organic, low sugar, healthy, unless you've actually read the label, okay? Because organic sugar is still sugar, okay? So knowing how much sugar that you want to consume and looking and checking to see what the added sugars are on the labels, because the organic gummy fruits aren't necessarily better than the regular gummy fruits, aside from the fact that they might not contain the dyes and things, right? So be educated, make smart choices, and know, I mean, you know, it's oftentimes we think, oh, well, it's organic, so it has to be good for me. In fact, I was walking down this aisle one day and had someone picking up boxes of the organic cookies and the organic gummies and saying, well, these are good because these are organic, and just, you know, to, with an air of caution, to making sure that you're choosing products that you want to put into your body. Just because it says it's organic doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you, right? Use in moderation. Okay, so we're moving back on a little further. These made good granola bars are fairly low in sugar as far as granola bars go. So these are ones that we choose quite regularly.
They're selling like crazy.
They sell like crazy. Good. And the other one is these kind bars, even the dark chocolate ones I know the girls like, aren't too bad either. Total sugar is 8 grams in one bar. The made good products, 7 grams in one bar, but a lot of the granola bars that you'll find would be upwards of like 12 grams of sugar in a granola bar, which adds up quickly. If you think of wanting to keep your sugar intake around, you know, 30 to 35 grams or lower, that adds up quickly, right? So you have to think about where you're getting your sugars from, and those kind of choices like granola bars can really be higher in sugar. All right, we can back up a little bit more. If you are on the run, I know my daughters love these gluten-free oats, and they like to feel like they're making them themselves, and all they have to do is add hot water, so it's pretty easy and it's really fast. So we'll take these with us when we travel, and the girls often like to make these for their own breakfast as well. So you can get the gluten-free quick oats. Whenever I can use the large flake oats at home, we will, but from a convenience perspective, these ones are really good. And also some of the Kia cereals, I think that's how you pronounce it down here, the super seeds and grains, the creamy coconut, the cinnamon pumpkin seed. Again, check the labels for sugar content, because anytime they flavor something, you're going to have added sugars, but these ones, for the most part, I believe, do not. Just 1 gram of sugar in a serving of these guys. Okay, so again, check your labels, be label smart. Love those. And then we're going back towards crackers and things. So crackers and cookies, Simple Mills, we buy these cookies for the girls, and again, really low sugar, 6 grams of sugar per serving, which is actually 3 cookies, and the girls really only have 1, so that's pretty fair. 2 grams of sugar per cookie, okay, and a really simple ingredient list. So when you look at the ingredients here, we've got nut and seed flour blend, tapioca starch, chocolate chips, organic coconut sugar, organic coconut oil, but all of the ingredients on these lists are things that I can understand and that I know what they are. So again, be label smart, pick brands that you know are solid ones. I love the Simple Mills brand of cookies. And up here as well, rice crackers, gluten-free. Again, check that the ingredient list are simple as well, but we use a lot of the rice crackers in our house, as do we. The Mary's Gone crackers, which are down here, are some of my absolute favorites if you are a cracker lover, these crackers are amazing. Okay, they're not processed. They're not baked with any processed flours. So here we've got whole grain brown rice, whole grain quinoa, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, brown sesame seeds. I could go on, flax seeds, but all seeds that are dried into these crackers. They're gluten-free, they're not processed, you're getting a little bit more protein, you're getting some healthy fats, so a really good choice as far as crackers go. They are dense, so you got to keep the portions in check as always, but love these crackers. What else? Zach, oh, bars. I should address the last point I'll address in this aisle is bars. I get asked all of the time what I think of protein bars. Okay, so just know that bars can be more like a meal replacement than a snack. Bars can be from 200 to 300 calories. They can contain a high amount of sugar. They can contain high amounts of fat. So again, be label savvy, know if you're having a snack or a meal, right? And just, and eat accordingly for your other meals of the day as well. So bars can be good from a convenience perspective, but if they're full of a bunch of artificial ingredients that you can understand, if they're high in sugar, if they're really high in calories, then they may not be a wise decision for you. One of the bars that we really like to use in our house are the Kind bars. We choose the ones that are under 6 grams of sugar or less, like the dark chocolate nuts and sea salt is a favorite. But you can see right here that they're labeled 5 grams of sugar, 6 grams of protein, and you can see the lower sugar versions just by choosing these ones with this label. Holy, that's a mouthful, right? There's a lot in this aisle, but again, I guess the message always being is to read the labels and to know what you're buying, know when it's better to buy something organic, know when it's worth that maybe a little bit of extra investment, and yeah, know how much sugar you're getting, all of those things. Any other points to add or anything else you want to add, Zach?
No, I think you pretty much hit it all.
Hit it. Pardon? The seaweed? Okay, I'll talk about the seaweed as well. Such a good tip. So our girls love this seaweed. So do I. We don't often get seaweed unless we're eating something like sushi. So it is a great snack. It's a pretty low calorie snack. Okay, so a source of iodine, which we often don't get enough of these days as well. So there's literally just 25 calories in half of one of these packages, and it's mostly just seaweed with a little bit of olive oil, I believe. Yeah, or sunflower oil, sorry. But yeah, good little snack to have on the run as well. And I know sometimes you guys have it on special where there's the smaller packs, which are really easy to pack along as snacks as well.
All right.
Yeah? Okay, you guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below if you found some of these tips helpful. If you have any favorite organic products that I may not have mentioned here, we would love to know. One of the things that Lindo's is always really focused on is bringing in the things that you want and need. So please feel free to share those with us and any other products that you love. As always, thank you so much for your time today. On behalf of myself, Tania Kowalski, and the awesome people over here at Lindo's, we thank you for your time, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. Do something to nourish your health so that you can show up as your happiest self. All right, that's it. See you next time.